Good evening, everyone. I hope you all had a great Saturday. It's that time again. It's bedtime story time, and tonight we are doing Mice at Bat. So let's get started. Kevin and his friends lived in the baseball park. Every night they watched the game and they waited. When the game was over, the fans went home. Then the lights went out and Kevin yelled, "Okay, mighty mites, it's cleanup time." Popcorn, peanuts, hot dogs, they always found surprises. "Okay," Kevin shouted. "We picked up all the food. Now it's practice time. Jog around the bases." Deep knee bends in the left field, push-ups in the right field, running and sliding at home plate. "Pitchers, follow me." Rusty's fastball sizzled. Jose caught everything. Young Willie broke only 2 bats, and no one tripped over first base. "We're looking good, mites," cried Kevin. The mighty mites were busy, batting and running, sliding and yelling. No one saw old Casey the cat creep onto the field. "Run!" shouted Lou. "It's that old pest, old Casey. He ruins everything." "Hold it, everyone," old Casey shouted. "I have a letter for you." Kevin took the letter and read it out loud. "We challenge the mighty mites to the big game, Saturday at midnight, sharp. Signed, the Boomers." "Hooray!" cheered the mighty mites. "The big game at last." Old Casey was not cheering. Kevin thought he knew why. "Casey, you know baseball. Will you be the umpire?" "Who, me?" said old Casey. Yes, shouted the mighty mites. "Old Casey for ump." "Okay," said old Casey. "Thanks." Now he was smiling. "All right, mighty mites," said Kevin. "Let's show those Boomers we play the best ball in town." Every night the mighty mites batted and ran and slid and planned for the big game. Lou called the newspapers and the radio stations. Posters were put up. At last, the big night came. "This is it, team," said Kevin. "We will meet in front of the Boomers ballpark. Be there at midnight sharp. Get there any way you can. Good luck." Some went by subway. Some went by tugboat. Some just went. At midnight, Kevin took roll call. All the mighty mites were there. The air was cool. The moon was full and bright. It was a great night for a ball game. The mighty mites ran onto the field. "Hooray!" shouted the fans. The Boomers ran onto the field. "Hooray!" shouted the fans. Old Casey met the 2 captains. "Everybody plays," he said, "and nobody argues." "Shake," said Kevin. "Shake," said Artie. "Play ball," called old Casey. Young Willie stepped up to the plate. The Boomers' pitcher wound up. He threw the first pitch. Crack! Willie hit the ball. It flew over the second baseman's head. Lou was up next. Crack! The ball flew over the fence. When their turn at bat ended, the mighty mites had 3 runs. Then the Boomers came to bat. Crack, crack, crack. They scored 4 runs. The fans went wild. "This is some game," said one fan. "This is the game of the year," cried another. In the second inning, the mites played better. Young Willie threw the ball. Jose caught it. Out! Out! Shouted old Casey. Each inning, the netter caught everything in sight, but the Boomers stayed ahead, 4-3. In the 7th inning, the Mighty Mites took the lead. They scored 5 runs. Then the Boomers were up. Crack, crack, crack. They loaded the bases. Timeout, called Artie. I'm calling in Big Jacks. Who is Big Jacks? Asked Kevin. Artie smiled. He's our pinch hitter. Big Jacks marched up to the plate. The Mites ran to the umpire. He's not one of us, the Mites yelled. But he is one of us, said Artie. He's wearing our uniform. I smell a rat, muttered young Willie. Old Casey looked in the rule book. Then he shook his head. Rat her up, batter up, he called. Big Jacks waved the bat high over his head. Watch out, Mr. Pitcher, he called. If you throw that ball near the plate, I'll blast it to the moon. Rusty pitched a fastball right over the plate. Crack! Big Jacks was not kidding. He hit that ball right out of the park, and the score was tied. Soon the Boomers were ahead by 8 runs. Big Jack came to the bat a second time. Crack! Big Jack showed young Willie his way of sliding into home plate. Timeout, called Kevin. Are you all right? He asked young Willie. Sure, said young Willie. Let's get those runs back. Play ball, yelled old Casey. As the sky got lighter, the Mighty Mites' chances got dimmer. The Boomers were ahead, 25-14. The Mites were down to their last out. The Boomers put the Great Zipper in to pitch. Zing went the Great Zipper's ball. Crunch went young Willie's bat. Now the count was 2 balls and 2 strikes and no bats. Bring out the big one, yelled Kevin. It took 12 mites to roll out the big bat. Where is the strike zone? Asked the Great Zipper. Over the plate, said old Casey. You pitch them, I'll call them. The Great Zipper pitched. Everybody get ready. Swing, yelled Kevin. Wait, not this one, shouted Lou. It's too fast. It was too close, too. Ball 3, called the umpire. The next pitch hit Jose's tail. Hit batter, take your base. The 12 mites trotted down to first. Rusty was up next. I cannot lift that big bat, said Rusty. He found a scorecard pencil. Now I'm ready, he yelled. Okay, mites, said Kevin. There are 2 outs. When Rusty hits the ball, take off and keep running. Rusty hit a hard ground ball. The 12 mites took off from first base. The Boomers could not see where the ball went. The mites passed second base, then third. They were heading for home. Big Jacks found the ball. He threw it to home plate. But the Mighty Mites got there first. 12 times the umpire called. Safe. 12 runs were in. The Mighty Mites were ahead, 26-25. When the Boomers came to bat, they had no luck with Big Jacks, or the big bat, or the pencil. After 3 easy outs, the game was over. The fans cheered. It was a great night for the Mighty Mites. Even the Boomers said so. We will meet again next year at your ballpark, said Artie, and we'll remember to bring plenty of bats. The happy mites went for home any way they could. Some went by subway, some went by tugboat, some just went. It was time for a good day's sleep and dreams about the night's games to come. The end. I hope you guys enjoyed Mice at Bat. And I know there's going to be some baseball fans watching this, but I hope you all have a good evening. And I hope you enjoyed it. Love ya. Bye.